The final round is a winner take all. It is a do or die, sink or swim. The winner this round gets 10,000 points. The loser comes home empty-handed. Think of it as a sort of fast money type situation in like Family Feud. To our final topic, and what I thought personally was the game of the day, at least on Sunday, the Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Chargers. A great cool quarterback duel in which Tua Tagovailoa went nuts, throwing for well over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, had a QBR, I think in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, or high 80s. Pass ring was off the charts. Tyreek Hill had a ridiculous afternoon with over 200 yards receiving. Justin Herbert had a solid afternoon, but struggled at times in the fourth quarter. So, given what Miami did yesterday, Barry, do you think they are the best offense in the NFL, the most explosive offense in the NFL, or do you think there's somebody else?
I definitely think that they are the most explosive offense in the NFL just because of the two bookend wide receivers that they have. I mean, when you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, that's a hard matchup for anybody to deal with. You know, they both guys run a sub 4.3. You know, Tyreek Hill is more explosive than Jalen Waddle is, but you got they both have their skill sets. You know, these two guys went over over 3,000 yards receiving total last year combined, right? They can probably do it again and maybe they get close to 3,200 or 3,400. That's how good they are. And if Tua can be able to stay healthy, then, it opens up the possibilities of this offense. We saw Skylar Thompson put up 31 points in the playoffs. So this offense is predicated to score a lot of points no matter who's behind center. But Tua is going to make their chances a lot more dynamic because he can be able to scramble out of the pocket. He has a big arm. He's left-handed. All of those things matter. So, yeah, and also, too, people have to remember they have a pretty solid defense. It's a bend but don't break type of defense. So that defense allows them to get back on the field and be able to put more damage on teams. So this is why that offense is way more powerful, way more exciting, way more explosive than any offense in the NFL. You probably would put the Lions up there as well, but we still have to see what the Lions have, how they can be able to put it together and have Jahmyr Gibbs put it together and stuff like that. But right now it's the Dolphins, and it's not even close because I don't know how you deal with those
not
two
even close.
Teams. Yeah.
Not even close. That's interesting. Well, listen, you brought Tua's arm, and that's something I always thought Tua had a good arm. I don't know if because he's put on some muscle this offseason. His velocity, I thought, was off the charts yesterday. He's throwing straight up darts. Some of those bombs to Tyreek Hill were a thing of beauty. It looks like a left-handed Patrick Mahomes. Don't strike me down, God. Yeah, but that was unbelievable what he was able to pull off. To you, Dalton. Now you're an LA guy. You're not a Chargers fan, but I'm sure you saw the game like everybody else did. Do you think Miami has the most electrifying offense in football?
If we're defining electrifying by meaning like ability to hit an 80-yard play at any given moment, sure. But if we're defining electrifying as like best or best ability to score a lot of points, no. Like, come on. Look, this is a Dolphins team last year. They ranked between 7th and 13th in EPA, overall, pass EPA, rush EPA. It's an above-average offense, don't get me wrong. But even yesterday, Tua made 3 clear turnover-worthy plays. He had 1 interception. He fumbled twice, one of which he recovered himself. That could have gone a lot worse. We're not talking about Tua this way if 1 or 2 plays go differently and they lose. Then we're having the same conversation about the Chargers. That simple fact, for me, takes away from this idea that it's head and shoulders their offense against the rest. And let's talk about Tua's day yesterday, right? Spending the whole day playing with deficits, playing from behind, back and forth game with short possessions, 62% completion rate, guys. Like, it's good, but it's not otherworldly. Like, Tyreek Hill is an amazing player. Jalen Waddle is an amazing talent. I get it, right? Like, in terms of, like, raw explosiveness, any given play, it's there. But we can't sit here and act – the other thing, too, Barry, come on with this Chargers defense stuff, man. Like, the Chargers defense is nothing impressive. 1 week against that defense and going nuts.
I didn't say anything about the Chargers defense.
Well, let him finish, Barry. Let him finish, Barry.
I just think like we look in the sports betting world, we call week 2 overreaction week, right? Because generally speaking, you're a very profitable bettor if you bet against teams that covered last week and you bet on teams that didn't cover. This is a classic example of that for me. The Miami offense went crazy against a middling at best defense. And, like, that's cool, but let's not act like they're all of a sudden better than the Chiefs offense or the Bills offense or the Lions offense or a number of others. Sure, they're in the conversation, but this head and shoulders thing, come on.
I do agree with you that I don't think it's head and shoulders. I'd probably give San Francisco a slight edge just because of the diversity of their offense and all the things they could do with run the football and throw it through the air and all the action plays, all the motion plays that Kyle Shanahan runs. But I certainly don't think it's you mentioned the Chargers defense. The Chargers JV team just clamped to it in the Dolphins last year. So, it's a fair. I see what y'all are saying on both sides, but if I could, because listen, our celebration music has been delayed at times, so I'll go and hit the celebration music right now and give it a second to load, because the champion this week at the 8 o'clock spot is Barry Grant Jr. once again. Barry, you are the champion. Congratulations. You have the floor, sir.
Bryson, before I got on this show today, I said that there was a statement that I would like to have read. So if you would check your email, sir, there is a statement that I would like to have read, because I have been done a disservice on this show. I have been done a great disservice on the GRYD Network. I have been robbed several times in the finals, and I refuse to get robbed again. All right.
God, this is a long statement. Jeez.
I love Dalton. Dalton is my guy. I love to see Dalton in the finals. It's always good conversation. It's always good banter. If I lose, I don't mind losing to Dalton, but don't let me lose to some other randoms out there. All right, I deserve to be in the finals every week. Every week that I'm on the show. You see this shirt? Look at the shirt. You see what the shirt says? It has Alfred's face on it, and it has an X on it. All right, there's a reason for that, because he came out here talking crap, and now I had to show him that he's no longer getting to the finals. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
That is so disrespectful. Okay, fine. You know what? You win, so I'll read the statement. Hear ye, hear. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Sir Barry G. Grant Jr., the host of the All Even podcast, has been a consistent participant of the show from its inception. In 5 episodes, he has made it to 5 final rounds and is the current leader of points. With that being said, there has been some inconsistencies with the final round scoring. That feels like a shot at me. Random people off the street have won. Contestants who have gotten beat worse than the Cowboys beat the Giants have miraculously won. We are not blaming Subject 1, Bryson Carver. However, there have been some public statements on other shows about Barry G. Grant Jr. that have raised eyebrows about the host, Subject 1, me. Barry will continue to voice his displeasure with me and boycott any outcome that doesn't end up in his favor. We thank the fans of the show for continued support of Barry G. Grant Jr., as he will continue to be the voice of the voiceless, the wrench in the machine, and the model citizen he is. There's so many citations that show his philanthropy that cannot be read today. We will continue to monitor the situation closely, as he won't stand and let this visionary be mistreated by the GRYD or Subject 1. Good night. That was, wow. I don't really know how to feel about that. That was
wasted on-air time reading that propaganda.
That's exactly what it is, Alfred.
I feel vindicated. I feel justified by this victory, and I respect Dalton. You're my guy, but there had to be a clear-cut winner today, and it was me.
That's man. You got to get him next week, Dalton. That wasn't even a bad take, by the way. It wasn't even a bad take, but it was. Somebody has to take this man down.
Yeah, look, I think it's Barry. I'll just say this: it's an interesting look that every time you lose, it's the host's fault. Every time.
Dalton, you're supposed to be my friend. Okay, don't do this now. All right.
One thing I appreciate about Dalton is harsh objectivity. Okay, it's.
Yeah, that's the thing. But friends look out for each other, whether that means looking out for them, period, or whether that means looking out for them when they're a little out of line.
Dalton is not a yes man. Dalton is not a yes man. Okay, he's not out here. He's not one of your people who just feed your ego, Barry. Okay, that's what it is. So real quick before we get out of here, then we'll sign off. Let's look at our updated leaderboard, where Barry Grant Jr. has taken a pretty sizable lead. Actually, hold on. It's actually. Hold on, I think I might have messed this up. It's actually Barry's got a bigger lead than I actually thought. This is unbelievable. What he has done to the fabric of the show is truly. Alfred, do you have a reaction to him putting your face on a T-shirt?
He took a great piece of merchandise and defiled it.
Yep.
But I should have went to that Mets game tonight because they're up and yeah.
That's terrible. Let's look at our leaderboard. Yeah. What's that?
No. I was saying this is the last time I waste very good sports tickets.
I don't know if the Mets would qualify as a very good sports ticket in September, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's check the leaderboard. Barry with a colossal lead over second place Devin. The Dalton's in third there. He gained some ground, obviously. Alfred, you're in fourth, followed by Mike Frozone Guido, Adam Bessie of the Cowboys Can Fan Podcast, and John Rivera. So, man, something's going to happen sooner. We may have to. The subject one may have to take the week off.